creating a new way, just as John Rogers did, just as Mary and Ron have done, and just as you are going to do, you are going to emulate the masters who have taught you. And when you get out there and you find something is needed, don't be afraid to put it in place. Just ask yourself, who gave the first person their PhD? Who gave the first person their PhD if no one had one? So you can create and start and do whatever needs to be created and started and done in the world. Taking it to the streets means looking at where there is a need and stepping into that need, full center, heart open, and anchoring on the planet what you needed and didn't have. I have a very powerful experience of healing myself at the level of the DNA. My mother died when I was 2. I didn't know her, never consciously didn't know her. And 7 years ago, my daughter died at the age of 31, the same age my mother was when she died. My mother died and left me 2 years old. My daughter died and left a 9-year-old daughter that I've had the opportunity to raise. I don't think there's anything more challenging than trying to raise a baby girl who doesn't have her mom. And in the process of doing that, I got to be for her who no one was for me. I understand where she hurts late at night. I understand what it looks like to look in the mirror and see yourself and not see another woman who looks like you. I understand what it feels like when your body begins to change and there's no one there that you feel comfortable to ask questions. So I got to be for her who no one was for me. And that was the power of having a soul-centered education. When you go into the streets, when you look around, remember those places where you felt loneliest. Remember those places where you felt the most lost. Remember those places where there were things that you wanted to know that weren't there that now you know. Those are the places I invite you to go into. Those are the places where people are hurting the most. It's not that we're better off, we just got it quicker. We live in a time when healing is instantaneous. It used to be years and years and years on the sofa, and now it's one weekend at the USM. And you can get it handled. So, when you take it to the streets, take it with gratitude. Take it with integrity. Aren't you glad to be alive on the planet, inhabiting the flesh form? Particularly as a female, I don't think there's anything that I'd rather be than a woman. And even if there was, I wouldn't know how to be it, right? And at the same time, when I look at this class, when my heart weeps with joy, is when I see all of these men. I want to ask the men in this class to please stand up. Come on, stand up. Give them some love. All the sisters and the grandmothers and the wives, we love you. We absolutely love you. Thank you. So when the Creator said, Adam, where art thou? You said, here I am. I'll go to USM. And I'll be willing to take it into the streets. The world we live in today teaches us to conquer and control. When you go into the streets, wherever your streets are, wherever your community is, whatever your field of endeavor is, remember that you have been trained to stand compassionately, not to control. To be a commitment to those things that have brought you thus far and the people whose backs you stand on. Taken into the streets means the children and the elderly and people of all races and nations. Taking it to the streets means that you're listening more than you're talking, and you're creating more than you're waiting. Taking it to the streets means that your presence is going to begin to penetrate places and create vibrations in places and touch lives, lives that have been burdened and lives that have been shattered by the harshness of words, that who you are and what you bring onto the planet at this time is going to move into the most putrid of experiences and touch human lives in such a way that they become rosebuds of possibility. And the scent of their presence, through your presence, is going to render the world drunk with the unlimited possibilities of who we are in the core of our being, taking it to the streets. Means that you find a way to speak into the soul of every single person you encounter, whether they're in the nail shop, or Michael's, or Starbucks, or the corporation, or the hair salon, or the cancer ward, or on the massage table, or in the daycare center, or Borders, or wherever they are. Remember, the way to their heart is through the graciousness of your smile. And let that smile penetrate everything it touches, taking it to the streets. If I had one gift to offer the world today, it would be forgiveness. If I could be a walking, talking demonstration of forgiveness, what we need is forgiveness. Forgive everybody for everything, starting with yourself. Forgive everyone for everything. And you know that you're healed when you realize that there's no longer ever a reason to forgive anybody. People do what they do based on who they are and the information that they have. And if we could just remember that, if we could just remember it, my sister taught me that. My sister taught me to forgive quickly and immediately because she stopped speaking to me. And we didn't speak to each other for 3 years. And the next time I saw my sister, she was dead. And I got an opportunity to share with her, even in her transition, everything that she had ever taught me. She taught me how to stand proud as a woman of color. She taught me how to dress in my cultural garb. She taught me how to do my nails and how to put on my eyeliner. So after she made her transition, that's what I did for her. I dressed her in her cultural garb, and I put on her eyeliner, and I did her nails. And I realized that it all fades. As Ricky Byers Beckwith would say, it all fades in God. If you think about it, you may not even know why you're still upset with someone. I want to tell you, forgive. Forgive yourself for being upset with them. The streets need forgiveness. Our children need forgiveness. Men need forgiveness. Women, we need forgiveness. People of color need forgiveness. People of color need to forgive. White people need forgiveness. White people, Asian people, yellow people, we need to forgive. Forgiveness is what is needed in the streets. Love is what is needed in the streets. Peace is what is needed in the streets. Compassion and self-forgiveness is what is needed in the streets. And you know what to do. You know how to do it. More important than doing it, you know how to be it. Taking it to the streets. So, when you go out there, as you will today, because you're going to go out there, there's a couple of things I want you to always have.